Hey, welcome to the weekly update. The vlog, vacuum save, whatever the hell we're calling this. And I have a turbo brush, a very strange turbo brush that came on an Electrolux. So we're just gonna pull this bad boy apart. It is completely seized and see if it's savable real quick. And if it is, we'll put it in the dishwasher and get everything cleaned out. I suspect it will be savable. Am I missing something? No. And actually, the only thing wrong with it, brush looks good. This comes apart. This is why you service your machines. Interchangeable flange. So yeah, actually, the bearings are good on that. It looks like this is just seized from, well, lack of lubrication. And it's all rusted there. So, I think there's a product we don't talk about that I've been using for a long ass time. It's called PB Blaster. You might be familiar with it if you've done any sort of automotive work. We're just gonna put some penetrating oil on there. And let that sit for a minute with a lot of penetrating oil on there. And if that doesn't work, we'll set it on fire and see if we can use some heat. So that's what's going on there. This Electrolux I got, I'll show you the rest of it in a second, has a Domo motor in it. So thought that was cool. And I've got everything else to wash and take care of with that. So let's So it's time to load the dishwasher. And basically how I do this, because I've had some questions come up on how I clean vacuums. Put a little bit of that, dump a little bit of that. That's phosphated dishwasher detergent. That makes this thing really work well. And basically, you just put the parts in there. So things like this have to go on the bottom, of course. But yeah, you just gotta start putting them in there. If you ever played Tetris as a kid, it's very much like that. Belts are one of those things that go in the basket as well. And then this doesn't matter where it goes, this type of gasket. It will take forever to dry though, so I'll just put him right there. Along with this. Again, some reorganization. This is, you're not loading, you know, what you're used to loading. That just goes right there. Want to make sure the wash arm spins always. And we'll just put this on whatever the lightest cycle is. So I've had this sitting here, and we now have this somewhat turning on that bearing. Let's see if it turns on this bearing now. Yeah, oh, it's freed up. Praise penetrating oil. Yeah, that's gonna spin nicely now. So that's how we got that going. I think the next thing up on the agenda is gonna be the Linthouse head. And the reason this is up on the agenda and at least important to me, let me get a new magnet tray and put the contents of this other thing aside, is I am going to be doing some dry carpet cleaning. So in order to do that, we're going to need this Linthouse head and the Linthouse insert. I don't know if I have the insert for this, but I just want to clean it It's kind of nasty. Kind of nasty might be an understatement. I think that's an understatement. But they're easy to clean, easy to maintenance, so I'm not really worried about that. Yeah, it looks like she used it for wet pickup. That is a shame. Well, it was free. So let's put a little bit of effort into it. And now, we don't talk about the paint scraper a lot. The paint scraper for this sort of thing is a necessary to washing it. So you just have to scrape all this stuff out. And this is something I used to do on sanitaires a lot and commercial vacuums. But, you know, since we've stopped filming in vacuum shops and the channel's grown, you don't see me use a paint scraper as often. This one's just going to need to be scraped out. And all right, I got it apart. She's a stubborn old girl. She ain't that old, but she is stubborn, so I might not actually, this might be faster not to throw in the dishwasher, because if I don't have to pull out all this crap over here, I can just wash the tray in the sink. That might be faster today. We are, however, just gonna... This stuff will go in the dishwasher. This will get all hand washed. Of course, we're not going to wash the bearing plate. So yeah, let's get that guy, let's clean her off and get that working. Now this is gosh damn, this is a lot of hair. This I'll actually clean off before I put it in the dishwasher, because this is, I don't think whoever owned this before knew that, you know, cleaning your brush roller is a good idea. Damn, that is just fucking nasty. And this is something I would see, you know, on the bench in the shop, but seeing a Linthouse like this, it's kind of depressing. But we're gonna piece her back together little by little. All right, well, both of these machines need to be blown out, and that's often what I do when we're not gonna wash everything. Even if I am gonna wash things. Stick with this. That's gonna be washed. All right, well, this machine's been sitting around my shop for an awful long time, and I am tired of looking at it and seeing it. Not because I dislike the machine, but it's just been here. So we're gonna go ahead and put it back together. This is not getting a full restore. This is just getting, it's not a wipe and swipe either. It's getting that in between, above and beyond what most vacuum stores would do, probably below what a collector would want. But, you know, sometimes you just got to do what you have time for. And considering I have restored 3 of these, this is like number 4 out of 5 of them that I own. It would just be better to give it a little bit of lube the cheater's way, and put it back together so it can be at least enjoyed or at least looked at. So we've done that. What's weird about this is there's no cord rewind. But these always had the revision for the cord rewind, so they would put this fake vent cover in. Always thought that was interesting. Everything's been washed and pretty much taken care of. I actually have a decent brush for this one. I was surprised. That made me happy when I saw it earlier today. Yeah, so we're just gonna go ahead and start throwing this back together. And I'll probably make some mistakes along the way, because it's been a while since I've done these. I don't do them too often. Especially not this kind of so-so job. Man, I wonder if these guys go right here. Yeah, let's see. I'll speed up some of this footage because I am going to turn some of these by hand. Yeah, that's the whole thing. That's so weird. Oh, so, okay, We're over there, and those go on the bottom. I know where those go now. Okay, I see how everything goes back together. Oh, yeah. We got this wonderful bag. And they use this bag, the bags didn't vary as much as you would think on these. Because this bag is good for a couple of different models, this exact bag. I had one that was almost a completely different color scheme that had this bag. I thought that was an interesting ordeal. There you go. Those on there. And then on the top, this has this guy and this. Like I've said before, I like to put a little bit of silicone on this. It's just kind of a habit I have over the years. You know, a former boss of mine used to say you could only polish a turd so much. I think that's gonna go true for this. You know, the truth about this is it is a very well-used vacuum. It's a very old vacuum. And why these restore usually pretty well, this one's maybe not gonna be the cleanest. And I'm just gonna have to live with that. Because it's just, there's just some things you just can't do, or you want to do but you don't have time, whatever. So I'm just going to start putting it back together with the stubby screws. These just kind of go in and hold the plastic top cover on. And a couple base plates here that have been through the dishwasher. Looks like that is the better of the two. This one's got some marring. And before we put this back together any further, I'm going to have to grease the bearings on this. Alright, well, if you're not familiar with Hoover bearings, they use these open proprietary bearings, and they look like this when you take them out, and then you got to get them focused nice and clean. Real important to do that. Then once they're nice and clean, then you can pack them. This is just like part of the deal when you deal in old Hoovers, is repacking bearings, and they actually have a grease gun specific for this, and I haven't been able to get my hands on one, unfortunately. Though if anybody has one they want to send my way. I don't do that many old Hoovers, but I'd sure like to have one. So we got the brush roller back together, and time to put the belts on. And one is really stretched out. One is, I feel like this one was an old new stock. Let me grab one for the self-propel over here. But we need a new self-propel belt, but I don't have one. So until I can get a 047 belt, yeah, that's not going to last. That's not going to last at all. I'm going to end up snapping that and sucking that back in. So now we're going to just pry this motherfucker down here. Give it some twist by hand. And it would appear that I've gotten some grease on the brush roller. So I'm just going to real quick wipe the brush roller down. Make sure there's no excess grease on there. I don't want it on my carpet at all. And then these base plates are just nice. They just kind of rock and lock back in like that. And there's two pieces of spring steel that are these clips right there. All right, so it's right or in the upright position. Let's go ahead and put a Hoover Type A bag in here. Fix that. this, tuck this in. Definitely not as easy as some of the newer vacuums I have in terms of doing that. And let's see how she is with, don't want to unravel the cord all the way. Power surge mode. Well, it beats, it sweeps, it cleans. Well, that is doing all the things. This is a model, of course, with no lights, so that's interesting. I have the rest of the bag top somewhere in my shop or upstairs. It's not handy, I can't find it, so if you notice that the bag was not quite right, well, we'll go ahead and fix that at a later date. But I thought I would just show it to you running, since I think it's all right. Let's give it a final wipe down, as opposed to a final 80s countdown. And that should be good to go. Well, thanks for tuning in to this vlog. I know it hasn't been the most exciting vlog, but I just want to show you what's going on. Again, I have some big things coming down the line, which you guys will be privy to first as soon as I announce it. So, thank y'all. Have a great day.